You said, if any two touch and agree on anything, it shall be done. In Jesus' name, we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right. Now we're back in action. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you guys are joining me today. And
Joining us
today because we have a very special video that we are going to share with you guys. We look a little crazy because we just got back from a little trip where we went on a winter safari. I will have footage from the safari that I'll be posting soon, so keep a look out for that. But today what we're going to be talking about, if you guys don't know, we just celebrated 5 years of marriage. December 5th of this year, it made 5 years. He got me a new wedding band, and it's so beautiful. Put it in some Cheeto Puffs, but you know, that's a whole other story. But today what we're going to be talking about basically is some tips and tricks on how to keep your marriage healthy and happy, where you know, continue to enjoy one another and things don't get repetitive or tired. I just kind of want to share some of the things that we do on a daily basis and kind of some of the things that we incorporate in our marriage and our everyday life, and especially at being married so young in a society where marriage is very foreign at our age. So just kind of keeping a good outlook on marriage and being able to be set apart in order to have a successful marriage. We kind of have a few topics that I wrote down. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is like the beginning stages of marriage, like the changes that you go through. So when you first get married, if you have not lived together before, you go through something called growing pains, and we talk about this a lot, especially if you came from two completely different households, brought up differently. When you're two separate entities or two separate people growing together as one, there are things that you go through that hurt to kind of compromise and to become one being, because you may not see everything the same. You may have different perspectives on things, and so trying to grow and merge those things together and compromise on the things that you want to keep a part of your lives, what you don't want to keep, it's hard and it's uncomfortable, and that's why I kind of labeled it growing pains, because you're growing together, but in the midst of that growing, you have to do some dying too, to some things that you may have thought were right from how you were brought up, that together collectively is not going to work for you guys. And so that's hard. It's uncomfortable to shed those things because it's all you know.
You know, you come from two different backgrounds, and so the way that you were raised is two different ways, and so you don't think the same, and you don't share all the same experiences, and we're just two different people in general, you know. And so now when you become married, you're trying to merge the two worlds. You know, a lot of times the two worlds collide, but you know, when you become selfless, that's one of the main things that I think we're going to talk about later in this video. Is just selflessness. I think that's one of the key ingredients to a healthy, long-lasting marriage, is selflessness and compromise, and a willingness to compromise. That's a huge key when it comes to marriage.
What would you say is a healthy way that we deal with conflict?
A healthy way that we deal with conflict is just, I think, with communication. I think the worst thing that you can do is not communicate during conflict, or try to sweep it underneath the rug, which I have attempted, you know, numerous times. and it never works out.
No. I'm like, no, we're going to talk about
on my
this.
behalf. And so, you know, it's a lot of nights where I wish I could have went to sleep, you know, and allowed the sun to set on my wrath. But
I'm like, no, I am not having it.
But, you know, it's so hard to go to sleep when you got an angry one huffing and puffing, you know, right next to you. And so if you are willing enough to just talk through it, yeah, it's going to be a tough conversation. You know, I just talked to my pastor the other day, and he was just talking about, he called it intense fellowship, to where it makes you uncomfortable. It might even make you irritated, or it even might even make you angry. Or really annoyed, you know what I'm saying? And all of those feelings are natural. All those feelings are human, you know what I'm saying? And so, but the thing is, you can't ignore those feelings. You have to work through those feelings. Mm-hmm. You know, you need to talk about why you're angry. You need to talk about why you're annoyed. You need to talk about why you want to fight, or what the problem is, because the more you communicate, the more you'll see where each other's coming from, if the other person is willing to listen. Mm-hmm. And that's another topic in itself, because, you know, if you're talking to somebody who doesn't, you know, feel like working it out or talking to it, I mean, you're just gonna beat a dead horse. And so both parties have to be willing to communicate. I think I overcome a lot of conflict with my wife because I know how to apologize.
He does.
That is a very strong suit of mine, and it's a weakness of hers.
It is. I can say that I've gotten better over the years, but it was not easy for me in the beginning. Like, I don't know why, but it would be like so hard for me to say sorry. Like, I would be like, good day.
And I'm like, bro, do a bat got your tongue? Like, forget a cat, because I mean, sheesh. And then a lot of times, you know, it's my method because I'm goofy. I make her laugh. And that's how, you know, we get through a lot of conflict too, because, you know, just to not take everything so personal. A lot of times people take arguments and disagreements so personal, to where it changes the atmosphere, it changes your whole mood, and I mean, it just negativity just oozing off of the person. And a lot of times, if you just have good spirits about a conversation and just not take everything to heart or personal.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes I'll be like, I just can't help but to laugh at him, and then I'll be annoyed that I just laughed, and then I don't even remember why I was mad. And then sometimes I'll be like, okay, you just made me angrier.
But you gotta know when to use it though.
Right, now he's able to decipher when, okay, like, is this the moment? Like, can I pull that card where I can make her laugh and it works? Or, like, is this not the right time? Like, do I need to use another method? So what we would say to get through conflict is communication. Knowing how to apologize is really important. Compromise is super important. And being able to be lighthearted, you know, and kind of laugh through conflict sometimes. It won't happen all the time, but sometimes it's okay to just, you know, kind of laugh through the conflict and still express how you feel, but not take things so personal where, you know, it interrupts and changes the atmosphere and the mood of things. Okay, we're moving on to the next topic. We spent a lot of time on conflict. How do we keep the fire hot? How do you enjoy me and I enjoy you and we like each other and all of the ends?
I mean, the only way you can enjoy a person, I mean, you just gotta spend time with that person. That's how relationships sustain themselves. You don't keep a relationship, you know, without at least talking to a person, hanging out with a person. That's what makes people friends and best friends. You know, doing new things, trying, experimenting, you know, going new places, eating new foods, you know,
We're really good at that.
Doing new things that you've never done before. You know what I'm saying? I think because you have experiences without that person, because you came from two different backgrounds, but now it's time to experience things together that you both haven't experienced before,
and create
just
memories.
Just to create memories.
One of the main things that you have to have within a marriage is friendship. Like it has to be there. You can love each other, that's important as well, but to be friends and to remain friends where you like each other.
Yeah, that's
like
huge.
A lot of people love people, you know, but there's not a like there.
Yeah, I know a lot of relationships that, you know, they love each other, but they don't like each other.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a healthy relationship.
No.
Let's say that. I don't think that's a healthy relationship.
No, so I definitely feel like that is a really, really big deal to sustain a friendship with each other where you like each other, you enjoy each other's company, you enjoy being around one another, and we like sincerely enjoy one another's company. Like, that's my best friend, and to be able to share life with him is amazing to me.
Yeah.
This camera is about to die. I have a new camera, so I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't really know how it's already dead. I don't know. So we're gonna try to hurry up and get through these topics. The other topic that I have is what company to keep when you are married and young and married. First of all, when you first get married, you will have a lot of people that you're close to that will kind of flee the picture. They won't be around anymore. It'll kind of feel secluded in the beginning stages of your marriage because everybody doesn't understand you know, the certain changes that you have to make to be a good wife or a good husband. And so there are some people that will stay a part of your life and some people that won't. It's very important to surround yourself around other married couples and not to stay so closely connected to single people.
Yeah, because I mean, long story short, I mean, you know, they single, you hanging around them, they over there, you know, looking at other single people, and they looking like, hey man,
in layman's terms,
I'm single, you single, let's mingle.
Right.
Don't start thinking you single. That's bottom line.
And you're going to adapt to their mindset and the way that they do things. So you can have single friends, but you know, just don't adapt to their mindset, basically. Moving along, prayer and Bible studies. That has been a very important part of our marriage. Keeping God at the center of it. He was at the center of it when we met.
She liked me because I was a Christian rapper, for real.
Boy, bye. So I did see him a couple times at my sister's art show. She used to have art shows, and he is a Christian rapper, and so I saw him a few times through that. But we actually connected through like a little Christian group that we were a part of. That has always been a very important part of who we are. I had just really became serious about my relationship with God before we met, and so that was like very important to me. He already, you know, was really serious about his relationship with God and what he stood for as, you know, a Christian artist. And so that was our foundation. And so just keeping that a part of who we are and a part of our marriage, I believe, has really sustained us thus far. We read the Bible together. We read, you know, Bible stories together. We make sure we pray together. If there is, you know, something where we feel is off about our atmosphere, or we feel like we need to pray about something, or whatever it may be, we pray together. He teaches me things. He's taught me so much about, you know, just different things that I feel like I was closed-minded to. He's educated me on a lot of things spiritually and you know, just opened my mind to certain things and been able to cover me correctly as my husband, you know, in the Word, just being able to break down certain things in the Bible to me that I may not understand at first. And I think that has been very important over the years, where I know that I can trust me with him spiritually. Like, I know that our home is covered and I'm covered, you know, as his wife. That's very important to me. So I definitely think that it's not a think. I know that has been a very big part of how we've sustained and kept a healthy marriage so far.
No, that's good.
This is good?
Yeah, that's good.
The next topic that we have is basically marching to the beat of our own drum, not keeping up with the Joneses, like finding what happiness and success means for us. Thank you. And whether that mirrors what the world views as success or what somebody else views as success, that doesn't matter to us. It's what God has shown us, you know, what means happiness to us, what means success to us, and sticking to that and not being wavered by what we see, you know, everybody else doing thus far.
Yeah.
Our marriage.
Yeah, a lot of things that we've done is like just going to the Goodwill, you know, and not trying to buy the latest, greatest this, you know, although we do like, you know, nice things, but if we were going to buy those nice things, we will always get them at a discounted price.
Yes, we do.
I think that has always kept us, you know, because we're not trying to keep up with anybody. You know, if the iPhone 10, you know, or whatever phone they got, 11 out, you know,
we don't even know what it is because we don't got it.
I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna go get the 7 or the 8. And
keep it as long as it works.
And keep it as long as it works. And I'm happy with it.
I'm very grateful that we're on the same page as far as that. You get what you want, or if you desire something, you save up for it, or you find it for a cheaper price. And that's what we're on. And I just rather spend a little bit of money in that area and then be able to, you know, keep money for experiences and things like that. Another thing is, I'm trying to move through these topics because I don't know when this camera gonna die. Okay. The next thing is knowing each other's love language. That is very important. We have not completely finished reading that book, but we kind of understand the basis of it, and just understanding the basis of it has allowed us to understand each other and each other's love language. So what would you say my love language is?
She likes to be like showered with like gifts and affection.
And it doesn't have to be anything big. It's just like, just something to know that you were thinking of me or whatever. But him understanding that that's how I know that I feel loved. He knows how to love me correctly, knowing that. I would say his love language is acts of service and words of affirmation. So just letting him know, like, I love you, you're so handsome, thank you for being a great husband, thank you for the way that you love me. Why are you laughing? And acts of service, like if he asks me to do something, hey babe, can you clean the house, or stuff like that. Acts of service, you know, my servitude to him, that is how he feels love. Like, oh babe, thank you. So just understanding each other's love language and how you need to love the other person, and knowing that you can't love them through your love language. For a long time I tried to love him through my love language instead of finding out what his was. And that can be frustrating to the other person. So just understanding and finding out what the other person's love language is. The next thing I would say is lots of laughing. We already said that, but just keeping things lighthearted and fun has really kept us Like, I enjoy his company. We be like really weak. Like, we be cracking up so bad. He thinks I'm funny now.
Man, yeah. I think she's funny now. I think laughter is a big key to marriage, man. I mean, if you don't know how to make your spouse laugh, then I mean, it's gonna be a very long marriage. It's gonna be very long, because I think that's a key ingredient to why we've survived so long. Because you know, I like fun. Like, I like to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? So and laughter is the best medicine. And so a lot of times you can laugh away the pain. You know, you can be going through so much turmoil and hardship and so many different, you know, difficult times in life. But with a little laughter, man, a little bit of joy could, you know, turn all of those problems upside down. You know what I'm saying? Or just make just the struggle that much easier to deal with. You know, and I think laughter is a real big key to have a healthy relationship.
Yeah, we laugh a lot, and I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah,
I definitely think that's a key to a happy, healthy marriage. It's just enjoying each other's company, laughing, and having fun.
You gotta find opportunities to have that fellowship. You know, have those moments where you're able to enjoy one another's company.
Yeah, definitely. Another topic is being courteous and kind to one another. That's very, very important, especially in our household. I know he's taught me, and what he always says to me if I say something mean to him, a kind word turns away wrath. He used to hit me with that all the time. I used to be mad, like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that right now, okay? But a kind word turns away wrath. That's so important, and it's so true. Like, it really, really does. Like, responding to somebody in kindness helps to diffuse the situation, and it helps them to respond back better to you.
It does.
Yeah.
If somebody was to practice that, I believe that, you know, you'll see the evidence immediately. I think, you know, it's something I'd use that all the time. You know, because
even not in marriage, just in general.
Yeah, just in general. If you respond back nicely to somebody who's being, you know, ignorant, you know, or angry, you respond back with them with a nice gesture or some nice kind words, or even if you're humble enough to be apologetic, the only evil person that they can see is themselves. You know, the only ignorant person that they can see acting up in that very moment is themselves, because that's the only person who's upset.
Yeah, he's done that to me a lot, where he'll just, like he was talking about before, you know, he'll just apologize and say he's sorry, and then I just be mad, and I just be looking like I'm the only one mad. So maybe I need to not be mad no more. Yeah, so just being kind-hearted and loving and compassionate towards one another, it really goes a long way. Okay, so that was kind of our last topic. We are going to talk about what we admire about each other. What I admire about him as a husband, and what he admires about me as a wife. Kind of some of the characteristics and the traits. And yeah.
Some of the things that I admire about you would first and foremost be your relationship with God. I think that is to be admired. Second, I think, you know, just your work ethic. I think you work really hard. You've always done something ever since we've been married. You've always had a job. I mean, your work ethic has always been, you know, top notch, and you haven't complained. I think that's to be admired. I admire just the way you love me. I mean, you know, only person I thought would love me, you know, that much is, other than God, is my mom. But, you know, you're up there, like, you really love me, and so that's I admire that, and I admire like how affectionate you are, how patient, how supportive. I mean that you need to like pat yourself on the back, because how supportive you are of me is pretty good. It's pretty. Some days it'd be like, where's it at? some days it'd be like, where's it at? But for the most part, yeah, you really be supportive. You've allowed me to buy a lot of like expensive studio equipment and stuff like that, and then you cook really well when you do cook.
When I'm not busy, when I have the time to.
Yeah, those are some of the major things that I really admire about you. And then I just love I mean, we don't have any kids, but man, like you have such a big heart for kids. And that's to be admired as well, because, some people hate kids.
Yeah, I don't like bad kids. I like kids, but not bad ones. Okay, so some of the things that I admire about you as a husband, I was just telling you some of these things. It's crazy to me that we've been married for 5 years, and I definitely see the growth in you as a husband. Just from trying to find your way around what a husband is, to now like you've come to know and to understand what it means to be a husband and what it means to be a protector and a covering, and you exceed my expectations in all of those areas. You cover me, you provide for me, you are comforting, and you're there, and in every way that I need you to be there. And to know that we both kind of went into this, we both have married parents, but to kind of go into this, trying to figure out our own way, what it means to us to be husband and wife, and what it means to us to be married.
Oh yeah, because my mom was like, it ain't gonna work.
Shut up.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, we had a lot of people say like, you're too young, like it's not gonna work. You need to enjoy your 20s.
You better stop now.
Oh
man, you're young. You're in your best part of your life.
Right.
Man, you should
like
be out
you don't
there
want to just be secluded to one person. Like
it up.
And I'm just thankful that we didn't listen to those things. And even though we didn't know everything, and we're still figuring things out, we're still learning each other, we're still growing. It's a blessing to have seen you not know what it means really to be a husband, but to learn and to grow and to figure it out. And I tell you all the time, you're an amazing husband.
Yeah.
You are. I love the way that you love me, the way that you care for me, how gentle you are in spirit. I admire your ability to break down things to me and explain things to me that I don't understand, whether it be in the Bible or just in general, about common everyday things. I admire your desire to provide for me and to take care of your household. Whether you feel like going to work that day or you don't, you never complain. You're always on time, unlike me, but we're getting there. You're always on time. You always put your best foot forward, and you put your heart into it, even though it's not necessarily your passion, because I know your passion, but you put your heart into it because you know that it means you're providing for your household and your family. And admire that so much about you, and I'm so thankful for that. And I'm just grateful that you're my husband, and just to have seen your growth alone into a husband. Like, it's so crazy to have seen you not just grow into a husband, but to grow into a man, and how you deal with things now. It's just crazy just to see your growth and your maturity. So I'm really thankful to have been a part of that process, and to continue to, you know, as we grow old and, you know, we get in our 40s and our 50s and our 60s and our 70s, you know, just to see each other grow and to mature and into being a better wife and a better husband. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Man, that's awesome. She's never told me those things before, so I'm just as shocked as you guys.
Why are you lying? I just told you those things.
So, but man, yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for those words. You know, a lot of times, you know, your significant other needs affirmation.
I told you his love language is words of affirmation.
You know, you need affirmation. You know, sometimes you need to know when you're doing a good job. Nah, but for real, man. Like, for anybody that's out there that's young, you know, young and looking to get married, you know, anybody who's married right now watching this video, anybody who's just in a relationship, been in a relationship for a while, you know, we're just trying to give you experience and wisdom from our behalf. That doesn't mean that we're perfect,
that we know it all,
that we got it all figured out. You know, it's people that's been married for 20 years, 30 years, who got way more experience than us. And we still go to them for more wisdom, more counseling. And it's always good to give back, you know, to those who ain't got it figured out, who may not know, you know. And it would be a terrible thing for the enemy, the devil, to come in and destroy what God has put together. And so this video is just created so that you guys, whoever's watching this video, would remain.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Take something from it, a tip here or there, and you know, just be able to apply it to your marriage or your relationship to keep it happy and healthy. We have learned a lot of different things from different people, and different, both of our parents are married and have been married for a while. But shout out to Brother Kelly and his wife. They have given us a lot of great insight on, you know, marriage and conflict and things like that. And so just learning from the people around you, from your parents. I've learned a lot from my parents, and just incorporating that into your marriage and allowing God to show you things. He's shown us a lot of things, you know, just for ourselves, that we've learned, that I know is nothing but God, that we've learned, you know, from each other. And I'm grateful for that. And so I just want to be able to share that with others, and maybe other young couples that are still trying to figure it out, you know, that are thinking about marriage, or have maybe been married for a year or two, you know, and just need, you know, some help or some guidance. So, well, I think that's it, guys. That pretty much sums up this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button right down there. I'm still learning this camera. I don't know how close my finger is or not. And come back to see us again. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.